The following questions were asked by two current and a retired educator of Gifford County Schools. The rate of suspensions, OSS and ISS, is still higher in most schools for African Americans. It is not fair to give a student ISS for one whole day when they have only had trouble in one class. The object of the school is to keep the kids in class. What would you do to tackle this problem?
Okay. That's a three-part question the way I see it. The first part of the question is, do I think it's fair for a kid to have ISS or OSS if they've only acted up in one class? That would depend on what the policy is for that particular school. I think we need to leave that up to principals to address the problems in their school as they see fit in accordance with whatever guidelines have come down from the school board. The second part of that question is about the disparities between African Americans and other kids getting ISS and OSS. That's obviously a problem. Gifford County just took a vote recently that allowed kids to appeal or families to appeal suspensions, where before, once you got a suspension, it was pretty much law. That's what took place. So now they have a 24-hour period to appeal that decision. The second piece to that is you have to have cultural training, because if teachers got biases, they're going to tend to give kids suspensions a lot of times quicker based on their personal biases. So you have to find a way to get all your teachers, and I mean all your teachers, to get some kind of training in diversity and cultural training so that they know that these stereotypes that exist are not true. So they won't tend to give these suspensions to African Americans at a higher rate. So that's the answer, or one of the answers to getting this done. Diversifying your staff so that they can understand the needs of their kids and making sure that they don't buy into stereotypes. And teachers are not the only one who do it. Police officers do it. We see it all the time. We get pulled over at a high rate. And all this is because of the stereotypes that exist when it comes to African Americans.
All right. How would you suggest we tackle the problems of school overcapacity?
This again goes back to 25, 30 years ago when all the opt-out plans came into place, the redistricting took place, and you take schools that used to have a capacity of 1,500, now they got an enrollment of 700. So you got a facility that's built to handle much more people, but people opt out because of labels. That school may be labeled low performing, so parents don't want to send their kids there. So we have to make all of our schools within our inventory worthy of kids going there. And then we need to seriously look at possibly redistricting again, not only for the purpose of increasing enrollment at our schools, but also to keep our kids off of buses for an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half in the evening getting back and forth to school. That's 3 hours out of their day that they spend sitting on a bus when they could be studying, they could be spending time with their family, they could be participating in extracurricular activities. So there's a big need right now to redistrict our schools, make sure that they're diverse enrollment, and I think at the end of the day, we'll be better for it.
Mm-hmm. What is your vision? Excuse me. What is your vision for our school system?
The biggest thing I want to see is us to come from the lower part of schools in this country. The 50 states, North Carolina is in the bottom tier educationally. I read recently where we are 37th on the amount of dollars that we spend for each kid. You cannot afford to spend a little bit of money and expect good results. We got to find a way to spend more money on each kid that's in our school system in the state of North Carolina, and especially Gifford County. That money, again, cannot all come from Gifford County. We need to pool our needs together, present them on the state level and the federal level so we can get dollars and get help. But there's no reason why North Carolina should be one of the poorest and one of the lowest performing schools in the United States of America.
I totally agree. How can Gifford County schools better serve your former constituents?
I think real or perceived, there is a perception that high pointers are not getting the best from Gifford County that they could get. There's a perception, real or perceived, that we're treated like a stepchild. There's a perception that High Point actually needs their own designated seats on the school board based on their population. There's been some resistance to that, and the lines show that if we get out and we work real hard, we will have them High Point seats. But we do need a voice, and again, I don't know if it's real or perceived, but if we want High Pointers to be on board with Gifford County Schools,
And they should
we
be.
have to address these perceptions. And I'll leave it at that.
I totally agree.